Well, good evening, everyone. This is the September 2018 regular meeting of the Hoboken Board of Education. I'm going to call the meeting to order now. At this point, Mr. Moff, would you read the statement of compliance, please?
Yes, sir. This meeting is being held in conformity to the Open Publics Meeting Act. Proper public notice of the meeting was published in the local papers on September 7, 2018. If any board member or member of the public in attendance believes that this meeting is in violation of the Open Publics Meeting Act, the Hoboken Board of Education requests that they make a statement at this time. The board wishes to make those in attendance aware that this meeting is being recorded on video and will be broadcast by the board at a later date on cable television channel 77 and FiOS channel 46. The full meeting recording will also be made available on board docs, which can be accessed through the district's homepage. The Hoboken Board of Education is committed to preserving the decorum of the public process and is mindful that we live in an electronic age of computers, cell phones, and other electronic communication devices. Nevertheless, we respectfully request that all meeting participants kindly silence their electronic devices during the course of the meeting, and if use of the device is necessary, we ask that you please leave the meeting room if you need to conduct personal business. Thank you. Please rise for the salute of flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And the roll call, please.
Miss Angley?
Here.
Miss Delera?
Here.
Miss Evans?
Here.
Mr. Madigan?
Here.
Ms. Takirian?
Here.
And Mr. Klupfel.
Here. First order of business tonight, as it is every meeting, is our student recognitions, and Dr. Johnson is going to be doing them this evening.
So we have some students of the month that we're recognizing from the end of the school year. So what I am going to do is actually go in order, and for those students who are here this evening, we will do the presentation. If they're not here, we'll invite them to the next meeting as well. So this evening we have Calabro student Mia Hazel. Is that right, Mia? No? Not Mia? Mia? Mia's not here, so we don't have Mia tonight. Olivia Davis. There you go. So what I need you to do?
Annette.
Okay. All right. And then we have a certificate for you too. Okay. So this is Olivia Davis. The June 2018 Student of the Month for Wallace School is Miss Olivia Davis. Olivia is a rising 5th grade student at Wallace Elementary School, and she was nominated by her 4th grade teacher, Miss Inholson. Olivia said that this past year has been her favorite school year in her life. Every morning, Olivia arrives with a smile on her face, and she's ready to take on the day's challenges. She is a quiet young lady, but don't let that shy smile fool you. Miss Davis has a loud personality and is always speaking her mind and standing up for others. She's a natural leader. She always holds her head up high in any situation and has a kind, compassionate heart. Principal Shannon said Olivia is the prototype for what a student should be because she brings joy and happiness to our Wallace School family. Academically, Olivia is a bright young lady who truly takes pride in her work. She is an honor roll student, and she is a fantastic writer whose shyness is nowhere to be found when her pencil and her paper meet. She participates in class discussions, and she loves to volunteer to read. Miss Davis is involved in activities both in school and out of school. She is a member of the Wallace Band, and she plays the clarinet. Olivia is also on softball team, and they just won the championship in Hoboken. Olivia wants to become a teacher when she gets older because she says that she loves kids. She especially enjoyed reading to the kindergarten children last school year as a reading buddy with Miss Mara's class. Olivia is very close to her family, and she treasures them more than anything else, especially her brother James, who she absolutely adores. Miss Inholson is extremely grateful to have been given the opportunity to have Olivia in her 4th grade class, and she misses her dearly. She knows that Olivia is destined for great things in the future, and she's excited to be on the sidelines watching her achieve all of her goals and possibly have her as a student teacher when she's in college. Olivia is the ideal candidate for this honor, as she should have the spotlight on her for all of her efforts. Congratulations to Miss Olivia Davis, the Wallace Student of the Month for June 2018. Please join me in applauding for Olivia Davis. So here you go. This is for you. And I think they're going to take some pictures. All right. And I think I saw Angel come in. You here? All right, come on up, Angel. So this is Angel Quinones. Angel is one of the very well-known high school students. Angel is the Hoboken High School June 2018 Student of the Month, and he was recommended by Mr. Christopher Munoz. Mr. Munoz said that Angel is a hardworking student who never wavers in his effort. His incredible work ethic sets him apart from his peers in that he is always looking to connect and extend his learning into different areas and different fields. He quietly holds people accountable, and he raises the stakes in discussions, looking for better understanding at all times. He is compassionate and kind, and he is always helping others. Angel is widely respected by his peers and his teachers. He can be serious at times and lighthearted simultaneously, which puts others at ease. Angel is a good leader. Principal Picapietra said that Angel is a conscientious student who is full of school spirit. He enthusiastically throws himself into activities both inside the classroom and out. His cheerful smile is infectious as he helps others to see things in a positive light. It is clear he enjoys learning and can frequently be found assisting and teaching others. Whether it's on the football field or the stage, Angel is a leader. He is mature and hardworking and disciplined. Angel was a standout football player, member of the National Honor Society, SALT, as well as member of the Drama Club. Angel's post-secondary plans include applying to Rutgers University and to Yale University to major in sports medicine. When notified about this award, Angel said, "I was relieved because I worked so hard this year and I was finally recognized at the end of the school year, so it's going to be a great summer." So I hope that happens. Angel wasn't able to attend the meeting in June because he was actually attending the Congress of Future Medical Leaders convention for high school students at Boston University in Boston. So Angel is a fantastic young man, and I join you in applauding and congratulating Angel for this award.
Well, thank you and congratulations to the students. Next order of business is reports, and the first report is Dr. Johnson.
Okay. Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to report out on district news and updates. So there are a number of them since it's the beginning of the school year, so please bear with the lengthy report. So we had our first week of school last week, and we started our new school year off this week with our first full week. Schools were filled with smiling faces and great enthusiasm. Our first week's K-12 enrollment officially logged in over 2,000 students, so we were very happy about that. There's a number of items that I do want to share this evening. First and foremost, our back-to-school nights are as follows. Brant is on September 20th, Wallace is on September 25th, Connors is on the 26th, Calabro on September 27th, the middle school on October 3rd, and the high school on October 4th. So if you could please check the website, and your principals will send home information regarding the start times for each of those events. Our principals and our teachers look forward to seeing all of the families come out for the back-to-school nights, because it will give people the opportunity to learn a little bit more about classroom teachers, learn a little bit more about the programs that are going on in the schools. We also have some visiting groups that will be kind of setting up in the lobby, including our food service provider, in order to present some additional information to parents as well. On the curricular and instructional front, I'm pleased to announce that multiple subject area curriculum documents were overhauled this summer, along with a number of new courses that were added to the high school program of studies. Extensive work was done in the area of gifted and talented education, along with the challenge and support period at the middle school levels as well. This school year, I'm proud to announce that theater arts will be integrated across the district into our K-2 curriculum at all schools on a rotating marking period basis. Also happy to report out that after one full year of piloting Mandarin Chinese at Calabro School, we added our next school to the Mandarin list, which is Connors, and we began the foundation of Mandarin Chinese at the kindergarten levels at Wallace and Brant, and those two schools will follow next. Over the summer, new selections of core novels were established for grades 3 and 4 to complement the core novel program in grades 5 through 8. We're also getting ready to roll out the Trout in the Classroom project once again this year, along with the implementation of a new science series, which couples very nicely with the Project Lead the Way STEM program. On the mathematics front, we are implementing this year math investigations on the K-5 level, along with connected math on the 6th through 8th grade levels. And that is kind of going along hand in hand with very extensive and planned out professional development for our teaching staff. I'm sure that most of you have read or have heard on the news about the recent legislation regarding recess for students in grades K-5. It requires 20 minutes of recess each day. That legislation actually originally came out as a 2018-2019 start, but after the Department of Ed had thought it through, in terms of the timing, they actually pushed it to 2019-2020. However, we are going to do our best to implement that initiative this year and kind of get ourselves ready and ahead of the curve. A whole new middle school approach unfolded at the start of this school year. The entire schedule was overhauled, establishing a new house system and advisory program to support the social, emotional, and academic well-being of students. So a hybrid block schedule was developed, delivering social studies and language arts literacy in an integrated humanities course, and math and science in a STEM block. The longer periods of time require innovative teaching approaches and also embedded brain breaks throughout the period. So the middle school staff has already begun practicing those with the students. I'm extremely happy to report out that Hoboken Middle School has also implemented a junior PGP, or personal growth period, allowing students to select from a range of enrichment courses during the school day. Students still have the choice between 3 world languages at the middle school level, but now they also have the opportunity to choose between performing arts and music courses throughout the day as well. These include band and chorus and theater arts, and this school year we've expanded our orchestra program to Hoboken Middle School as well. The Passport to Learning and Wellness After School program is off the ground at both the elementary school levels as well as the middle school. Yesterday we watched kids engaged in tennis, and today we watched some golf downstairs, and we had a whole group at the rock climbing gym after school as well. At Hoboken High School, I'm pleased to announce that our 3 Project Lead the Way learning strands are continuing to grow. Now in the 3rd year of implementation, biomedical science, engineering, and computer science all offer 3 or more courses. And for our incoming freshmen, Introduction to Engineering and Introduction to Computer Science are now both graduation requirements at Hoboken High School. Last year, our high school applied to become a College Board AP Capstone high school, and we were accepted. The high school also applied to the New Jersey Department of Education to offer the seal of biliteracy to students graduating with written and verbal command of more than 1 language. And it also recently applied to participate in the School Climate Transformation Project in partnership in conjunction with Rutgers University. Hoboken High School was approved for both of those projects as well. In addition, the high school also applied and was granted its charter to operate a National Spanish Honor Society along with our traditional academic honor society. As you know, global awareness and learning is a key focus in the district, and our high school Classroom Without Walls learning excursions are full underway. This year's trip to Japan is completely booked, but we will also be introducing our next upcoming trips, the first to Greece, and then China, and then to the Galapagos Islands over the next couple months. With the fall season, sports season underway, I'm extremely happy to report that Hoboken High School's athletic department was awarded the NJSIAA Sportsmanship Award for the 2017-2018 school year. And we could not be more proud of our coaches and our student athletes for this particular award. On tonight's agenda, there's a motion to approve the school assessment scores for determining grades under the Anti-Bullying Bill of Rights. This self-assessment process takes place throughout the entire school year, and staff members within the school collect data, they collect research, and they go through an entire process of a self-assessment. So the school self-assessment scores for the 2017-2018 school year are what you will see on the agenda this evening. Brant scored on their self-assessment a total of 76 out of 78 points. Calabro scored 77 out of 78 points. Connor scored 74 out of 78 points. Wallace 75 out of 78 points. The Hoboken Middle School 75 out of 78 points. And Hoboken High School scored 76 out of 78 points. Finally, I'd like to conclude my report this evening by recapping a process that's near and dear to Hoboken. That's the process that's associated with our preschool program and placements. It seems like each year, the first meeting in September, I do tend to report this out to provide information for people that are hearing it for the first time, or maybe just as a recap. So as you know, our preschool program is a result of a former Abbott legislative decision and court decision. So we as a school district are required to operate a preschool program here in Hoboken. There's a few things though that sometimes are either misconceptions or sometimes people have questions about, and the answers to those questions do sometimes get a little bit confusing, so I'd like to just put this information out there. First, it's important to understand that as a former Abbott district, we are required to operate a state-funded preschool program. The state funding is based upon a calculation that indicates how many preschool seats that we should have. This is referred to as a universe. During any given school year, the New Jersey Department of Education will calculate our school district and other former Abbott districts' universe by taking the number of first grade children on roll on October 15th and multiplying it by 2. This number is then deemed the district's universe, and the New Jersey Department of Education funds the number of seats for preschool for the following year. As a district, we take that number and the allocated funding and put a budget together and a preschool plan for the following September. Keep in mind that the preschool budget is separate and apart from the school district's K through 12 budget, and funds are not commingled. Based on this calculation, Hoboken's universe for the 2018-2019 school year is 574 total seats for both pre-K 3 and pre-K 4 combined. Further, the New Jersey Code directs districts to seat no less than 90% of their universe. For Hoboken, this school year, that means we would be seating a total of 517 students. As everyone knows, we are servicing 885 students, preschool students, in Hoboken. So some people ask, how is that possible, and how is it possible that we still have a pending placement list? As a result of the advocacy on the part of our district's early childhood department and the success of the preschool program, historically, the New Jersey Department of Education has consistently overfunded the district by 149.3% based upon our calculated universe, our projections, and the actual number of registrants. As a result, we do have a pending placement list. While the list technically should be right around 373 children, the advocacy that I previously mentioned has afforded our districts and families many, many more seats, thereby minimizing the pending placement list. We began this year's pending placement list with 140 children. Currently, we have no pre-K 4 children on that pending placement list. There are 62 children on the original pre-K 3 placement list and 10 additional pre-K 3 children registered after the original registration, leaving 72 children. We made a process completely transparent by posting on the website numbers and initials that were provided to parents indicating exactly what a child's number was on the pending placement list. That pending placement list is updated monthly, and thereby you can see the movement on that list. The next update on the pending placement list will be supposed to be made on September 15th, but because it's a Saturday, I've asked the Department of Early Childhood to make that pending placement list update on Friday, September 14th. So we're hoping to see movement on that list. So at this time, that is the information that I have regarding the preschool program and also some updates in the district for the start of the year. Thank you.
Thank you. Why don't we save questions at the end? Mr. Moffett, do you have a business administrator's report?
Nothing to report tonight.
Then we'll move on to committee reports. I think the first one would be the curriculum and wellness. Ms. Delara?
Sure. The Curriculum and Wellness Committee met on September 6th, 12 p.m. In attendance were Ms. Angley, Ms. Evans, Mr. Klupfel, Dr. Johnson, and myself. A lot of the items that we covered, Dr. Johnson has reported out on her superintendent report. I just wanted to follow up on the wellness part of it. We reviewed the September lunch menus, and we have seen some improvement. We still have many steps to take, but at least it's an improvement. Dr. Johnson is currently working with our food provider to ensure that we we're providing them with feedback based on what changes they've made. And we are also hoping that they come, which I think she just said that they come to our back-to-school nights, because I think that's going to be a great way for parents to ask questions, sample some of the new items that they have, look at the menus, and provide their feedback. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Facilities Committee, that's Ms. Angler, you're doing that tonight? Thank you.
The Facilities Committee met on Thursday, September 6th at 1:30. In attendance were Dr. Johnson, Mr. Callaghy, Mr. Klepfel, Ms. Delera, Ms. Evans, and myself. The committee discussed the facilities requests, which are on the agenda tonight, and recommends them for board approval. The committee also discussed the following items. Summer projects. The aquaponics lab in the high school is complete. That was expanded. The living classroom and outdoor playground at the middle school are underway. Drawings are at the zoning office for review. The administration recently went to the Hudson River project in New York City to plan for the living classroom wet lab. Students will participate in the Billion Oyster Project and hands-on authentic research on the Hudson River. The digging has begun where the playground will be. The ground will be regraded to ensure water drains away from the building instead of towards the building as it does today. This work would have been necessary regardless of the playground plan to ensure a dry living classroom. In addition, tanks will also be placed underground for water. And an emergency boiler replacement will be done at Connors in the next few weeks. And that concludes the facilities report. I think I'm next. On to finance. The Finance Committee met on Thursday, September 6th at 7 p.m. In attendance were Dr. Johnson, Mr. Moffitt, Mr. Klepfel, Ms. Stikurian, Ms. Evans, and myself. Finance has a light agenda this month, and the committee reviewed all agenda items and recommends all for board approval. We had a few tuition contracts on the agenda. All are existing out-of-district placements. However, one student is just attending a different school. There are two contracts on the agenda tonight, both with Catapult Learning. Those are pass-through contracts that benefit non-public schools in our area. So the money just comes through the district, and we pass those contracts on to them. We have 10.09 awarding of joint transportation contracts, and from time to time, the district enters into contracts with surrounding school districts to share bus routes. And then we have a resolution for the 10.10 amendment to the Hoboken Board of Education's flexible benefit plan. And this is just to comply with the IRS allowable amount that is now $2,650, up from $2,500. The committee also discussed the use of the emergency reserve to cover our state aid cuts, and this is currently being reviewed by the Commissioner's office. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. And then Ms. Evans, the Governance and Personnel.
Okay. The Governance and Personnel Committee met September 6th. In attendance were myself, Ms. Khanna, Ms. Sobolov, Mr. Klupfel, and Dr. Johnson. We reviewed all agenda items that are on the agenda tonight and recommend all for approval. It is a shorter agenda, as most appointments for the new year were approved at the July and August meetings. I did just want to point out a couple items. Item 9.13, we're approving volunteers for the theater department, and we'd like to thank the volunteers and their support of the students and the shows, which I think I'll get the shows correct. So the high school musical is Tony and Tina's Wedding, and the district-wide musical will be The Addams Family. So we're looking forward to all the shows. And finally, item 9.15, this is approval of staff for a specific district project, and this is for work that's being done in preparation for the project-based learning, or PBL program, that will be happening in all K-6 classrooms district-wide this school year. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Just a couple of things that I wanted to point out tonight. One, during the statement of compliance, as it normally says, this meeting was noticed in local papers, and indeed it was. Every January, the board appoints papers of record, which includes the Jersey Journal, the Star Ledger, and as a courtesy, we have traditionally, as was told to me, published in the Hoboken Reporter. However, the Hoboken Reporter, because it has always been a weekly, does not qualify actually to be a newspaper of record because it does not allow for adequate 48-hour notice of public meetings. But we've traditionally published in there. I think that became an issue this week when I learned that the Hoboken Reporter, with the new publisher, has changed its publishing schedule. And although we submitted our normal ad at the normal time, it just wasn't able to run in the Reporter. And indeed, I haven't seen a Hoboken Reporter in the past several weeks. So until that situation settles down with its publishing schedule, we'll continue to try to advertise locally as a courtesy to the community. But our papers of record remain the Jersey Journal, the Star Ledger, and of course the local places. I would say for anybody who asks, the district website is always accurate as to the meetings, and the public notices is put in the City Hall and the posted here in the district. Secondly, we are going into an executive session at towards the end of this meeting for the purpose of interviewing candidates for the vacancy on the board. I expect that will take about 40 minutes or so, and action may be taken after that, but that will happen later on. Now we move to public comments on, I'm sorry, any questions on committee reports or for the superintendent? No. Then we want to move on to public comments on agenda items, and as we start the new year, I want to remind speakers that they need to state their name, only their municipality of residence, not their street address, and business affiliation, if any. Board policy allows speakers 5 minutes, and I will quietly motion at the end of the 4-minute mark. If I can find my phone. Please address all comments to the board chair. Board policy states that the board welcomes comments on matters of interest to the board, but this is not an opportunity for dialogue or debate between speakers and board members or the superintendent. Do we have any speakers?
There are no speakers listed for the agenda items only portion.
Okay, thank you. Then we can move on to the consent agenda. Is there a motion?
Motion?
Second.
Mr. Hoff, do you have that?
Yes, motion by Ms. Angley, seconded by Mr. Madigan.
Is there any discussion? Then you call the roll, please.
Ms. Angley,
Yes.
Ms. Delara,
Yes.
Ms. Evans,
Yes.
Ms. Kana,
Yes.
Mr. Madigan,
Okay. 6.01, 6.02, and 10.05, I abstain. 12.01, K, I vote yes, and G, H, I, J, I abstain. Everything else is yes.
Ms. Takirian,
Abstain from 6.01 and yes on the rest.
and Mr. Klupfel.
I must abstain on 10.04 and vote yes on the rest of the agenda.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Public comments on agenda and non-agenda items, same rules.
First speaker listed is Mr. Brian Murray.
Good evening, Brian Murray, 1100 Maxwell Lane,
Hoboken?
Hoboken, New Jersey.
Thank you.
So I didn't hear it talked about in the prior statement, so I'm not sure if you guys are aware of the new public school rankings that came out this past week, but in case you're not, I will enlighten you. So we'll start with Washington Street. Washington Street is a 4-year, never-ending project run by inept politicians. If Washington Street were a decade old, it might be called Hoboken High 2. This board is about the only thing that's been fairly consistent over the last decade, meaning the majority that's run this board has basically been of the same political persuasion for a decade. We've been promised everything is getting better. Everything is getting better. Just wait, the results, everything is getting better. There are 305 schools ranked here, public schools ranked. Hoboken, 262. Now we'll go behind the numbers a little bit. We have the second best student-teacher ratio in the state of the 305. So the teacher unions are getting fat and the kids aren't learning. That's what I see from that. Second highest in the state. And you say, how is that possible that the kids aren't learning? Well, let's go behind the numbers a little bit. This is all based here. You can see it in the report. I'll leave it for you. So in the high school, there's 54.5% of the 11th and 12th graders who take an AP course. Of that, 6.97% get a 3 or better. That's about 8 kids. That's about 8 kids that get college credit out of over 100 kids that take these classes. 100 plus take the class, 8 get college credit. Okay, that's just one data point. So let's look at the SAT. We have the 13th lowest percent scoring over 480 in the verbal SAT. 13th lowest. That means there are, I don't do the math, 292 schools that do better in the verbal SAT than Hoboken. Okay, so let's go to the math. We have the 6th worst percent scoring over 530 in the math. That's just the barometer that this survey or this ranking used. That's the 6th lowest in the state. That's 298 schools or school districts that do better when it comes to the SAT and math. These numbers don't lie. This is not, if this is better, I really have a take issue with that. I want to know when the board is going to say enough is enough is enough, and we're really going to put some resources behind it, and we're going to put our names to it, and if it doesn't get better, then we're going to walk away. That's what I'm looking for. If it doesn't get better fast, then we'll walk away. Because clearly after a decade, it's not getting better for the high school. Now, to put that decade in perspective, my son was in pre-K 3 a decade ago. He just started high school this week. Nobody asked me why he doesn't go to Hoboken High. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Courtney Wicks.
Courtney Wicks, 3611 Park Avenue, Union City, New Jersey. Tonight I am representing South Hudson Black Parents Workshop, and for the remainder of trying to create transformational change here, we will be representing ourselves under that name. I really wanted to just talk about Pat Waiters a little bit. She's obviously not here tonight. She's got court. But offering her a $14,000 a year job, a woman who has done so much for this community, a woman who, no matter what chemotherapy, she shows up. How much pound of flesh do you want from her? You humiliated her back in December with the Elizabeth Walker appointment. And you just continue to humiliate this woman. Now, I don't expect you guys to understand Black history, but when this is all said and when you compare Black women civil rights leaders from the past, she is pretty damn close to a Harriet Tubman. And you don't give her any respect at all. Now, You say you're trying to help her out, right? Help her out. Then why not give her health benefits? But here's the cautionary tale about all of this. Most of the black women that work in this district have been hired at low-wage jobs with zero benefits, and they have to depend on health care, food stamps, and subsidized housing from somewhere else to make ends meet. Then on top of that, they have to send their kids and their grandkids to the school district, where you guys turn around and blame their class for the underperformance of the district. Then you use their low income status to get additional monies from the federal government. The only reason why we have Abbott is because of the socioeconomic background of some of these kids. And you rob them to create programs for kids in Brant and kids in Wallace, schools they will never attend, programs that they won't be able to access. And then you completely deprive them of an efficient and thorough education on at the middle school and high school levels. You turn around and tell these women that they can't advocate, because if you talk bad about the district, you get fired. If that doesn't sound like a plantation, I don't know what does. And I'm so glad that Pat had the decency and the thoughtfulness to just say, you know what, maybe I shouldn't do this. Even though she still has to put food on the table, her dignity is worth more. Her value is worth more. You create positions and additional income earning opportunities for teachers that hurt our kids. I saw on the agenda, we're paying people $33 an hour for recess. Why can't some of these security guards and some of these women who work for $10 an hour, some of them have been working in the district more than a decade. And then we rob their kids of a decent education, including Pat Waiter's son, who was this summer going to summer school because he kept getting kicked out of class for ridiculous discipline infractions. At some point, you have to realize that what you're doing isn't working, that you can't fund two districts in one, and that these kids have every right to be leveled up, and the black women in this district deserve the respect and probably a livable wage. Now, I don't know how you get there, but I think that at the very least, if you're not going to give them a platform like a diversity inclusion committee for them to discuss their issues, and maybe you need to remove Mr. Callaghy because he is the center of all the problems here. Something has to give. We have too much. This is just too dysfunctional. And you're sitting there and you're being complicit. You know that this is going on.
5 minutes. Time's up.
Excuse me?
He's just letting me know that 5 minutes have elapsed.
Are you running the clock or is the president running the clock?
I've got the clock. I was holding it for you. Thank you.
5 minutes are
You should
up.
probably drug test him.
5 minutes are up.
Oh, that's inappropriate. Come on. Yeah,
So
please.
that's appropriate, right?
5 minutes are up.
John, please.
Okay.
Is there another speaker?
Yes, there's one more listed, Patty, and I can't quite make it out, but I think it's O'Dare. Okay.
Good evening, Patty Otero. I'm here on behalf of the Hoboken Family Alliance, and we're officially requesting the use of the gym for the All Schools Open House in October.
It's already done.
It was approved.
It's already been done.
All right.
An email has been sent probably 4 weeks ago.
Okay.
Or 3 weeks ago.
All right.
It's all set.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any comments or response to the public statements? No. The next order of business would be a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of interviewing candidates for the board vacancy.
Motion.
Second.
Can we just do a voice vote? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That sounded like the majority to me. All right, so we're going to go into executive session. Will be approximately 45 minutes, 50 minutes, I think. All right, we're coming back from executive session. I need a motion to resume public session.
Motion?
Second.
It's Ms. DeLauro with the motion and Mr. Madigan for the second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. The last order of business tonight would be for me to ask if there are any nominations for the board vacancy. Joy,
I'd like to make a nomination.
please.
Joyce Simons.
Is there a second?
Second?
We have a nomination for Joyce Simons to be appointed to the board vacancy. Appointment will take a majority vote of the remaining members of the board. Mr. Moffett, you call the roll call vote, please.
Yes, sir. Ms. Angley,
Yes.
Ms. Delera,
Yes.
Ms. Evans,
Yes.
Ms. Kana,
Yes.
Mr. Madigan,
Yes.
Ms. Dekirian,
Yes.
and Mr. Klupfel.
Yes. Motion passes.
Yes.
Congratulations. It is appropriate, if you're so willing, to be sworn in tonight. Would you be willing to do that? The reason's not to be hasty, but to say we have committee meetings next month, and for a short appointment, we could use the extra board member. Mr. Moffett, you step forward, please. Just so that-
Can we take a picture of her?
Okay. Okay.
You raising your right hand? That's good. I state your name.
Joyce Simons,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith
and that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and this state
and this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
so help me God.
so help me God.
I state your name.
I, Joyce Simons,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law
that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law
for the office of a member of a Board of Education,
for the office of member of a Board of Education,
and that I am not disqualified as a voter
and that I am not disqualified as a voter
pursuant to RS 19:4-1,
pursuant to RS 19:4-1,
nor disqualified due to conviction of a crime or offense
nor disqualified due to conviction of a crime or offense
listed in NJSA
listed in NJSA 18A:12-1,
18A:12-1, and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform all the duties of that office
and justly perform all the duties of that office
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations and welcome to the board.
Thank you.
Again, thank you to all the candidates. We really appreciate your willingness to step forward. We have no other business this evening. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.